Hi, we are back. So today we are going to continue the illustration. For this, I'm going to add details. Yeah, just adding details. And this is the most therapeutic process in art and also most time consuming. It will take a long time just to complete this detail adding process. So it will get a little bit boring. Yeah. But I do determine to record every single stroke, every single process, every single stroke that I lay on this illustration. Yeah, it's more like a procedure recording. Yep. Yep. And yeah. Um, I don't think anyone will visit. I don't think anyone will ever visit or watch this live recording. That's why I'm kind of don't talk much. But since this is going to be recorded, I try my best to talk about something so that it won't get too boring. Won't get too boring. Yeah. Ultimately, this thing is going to be recorded, and yeah, in future, probably somebody curious enough to open up this video and watch this video because I set it on public, then it won't be that boring at all. I mean, I'm still talking about something instead of drawing art, doing art without saying anything. Yeah. Let's talk about this story. Yeah, Taylor's. Why am I writing this story? What is it all about? So, when I first got inspired, before COVID, actually, before the COVID lockdown, there's a manga, a very famous manga. The title is um, The Promise, ne- The Promised Neverland. Yeah, The Promised Neverland. It's about a girl, a young girl. Um, I forgot the name because I didn't really focus on it. I forgot the protagonist. Yeah, what's her name? But the story is mainly about intelligence. Yeah, intelligence. All the protagonists there are very intelligent, and they were taken in by orphanage. It's a it's a fake orphanage where children were raised as a food source for the monsters. So that story is heavily focusing on human intelligence as a core idea. Back then, for me, I'm a bit against that because I feel that this story is a bit elitist, and yeah, I'm kind of like writing some stories that is against elitism back then. And I started Telois like 2 years ago. 3 years ago on tapas.io. That was my first draft. That first draft. Um, I don't have much readers because uh, this self-publishing self-publishing thing is kind of like a huge ocean. Like sometimes you write a story, you publish it, it doesn't mean that you will get discovered. Probably nobody will ever read your story at all for like years and years to come. And some of them, I found that some of the self-published web novels, they are pretty good. They have some solid stories, and I did follow some of them. But sadly, most of the indie author, they just write the story for fun, and then after a few chapters, okay, they have a great beginning, have a great start of the story, and then after a while they kind of missing in action. The authors is nowhere to be found. Sometimes those stories are so good that I follow them on Patreon, but even on their Patreon they no longer update anything. So that's the sad thing about indie authors. But for Telois, I kind of, this story, the beginning of this story is quite funny. I mean, 20 years ago, I already have the basic idea about a story with the greco-roman background. It's kind of like back then I kind of dislike Hercules, the the TV show Hercules. You know, that TV show was so popular, but but I'm kind of like I dislike this show so much. Yeah, that's why I have this idea of a story set on the ancient Greco-Roman world about all the deities, and then now it turned out to be a story that is pretty much original. I didn't use much of the Greek mythology. I didn't use much. I just used a few, but they are not the real god and goddesses. They are not the real god and goddesses in Telois. They are mostly fake people who pretend to be god and goddesses. So yeah, so that's the origin of the story. Well, this whole thing was unscripted. I'm yeah. Oops. So Telois is about a young girl. Her name is Erit, my protagonist, the protagonist of the story. Yeah, she's a daughter of an archon of Syracuse. So this is a story of her journey of revenge, and yeah. So the story begins in one day where the Romans attack Syracuse and take over the place. And then her father got killed, her father got murdered. And then she started her journey while running away from the Roman soldiers. She kind of like start a journey and then decide what she's going to do. And then she forms a group traveling together to uncover a mystery, to find out that the actual enemy, the actual enemy that she need to face. And then, yeah, that's the story about teloids. But I have this idea like 20 years ago when I was a teenager, when I was young. The story is completely different. That story is about against the Olympic Games. Yeah, you see, the origin of Olympic Games was like, from what I know, is about uh, only men were allowed to join the game, and then human are competing against each other to display their physical prowess. Those kind of things is like back then when I was young. I feel like, oh, that those are very ableism. I mean, how about people who are disabled? I mean, people competing with each other, like seeing who is running faster, is like, well, it also depends on your race and your structure, how you born. I think it's unfair for most of the humankind. I think it's a very, very deeply ableism kind of thing. So I'm kind of against sports and against Olympic. So that's why I have an idea of the story when I was young. I uh, I watched Hercules, and then that show, that TV show, always depict that Hera, the goddess Hera, is the evil goddess or something like that. And then I started to have an idea. I want to write a story about Hera trying to organize a game against Olympic, which the participants are all females only, something like that. So, yeah, let me show you my website. I think it's GitHub. Where is it? Yeah, this is my Royal Road account. This is my website, github.io. Yeah, I kind of have an about me page. See, these are the 5 original character when I first have this idea of writing a story that is based on the Greco-Roman world. This is the Hera. This is my self-insert character, which was in my mind, Hera, the goddess. Yeah, back then it was like I'm trying to write something really, really funny as a teenager. I mean, as a rebellious teenager back then. But the actual story changed a lot. I mean, compared to Telois, which is the one that I published, I changed a lot. Probably that's because I'm now grown up. I'm now grown up, and yeah, that's the thing. And this story, Telois, is more like a serious story that talks about serious topic. Yeah, probably I'll talk more about the read the story in the coming future. Okay. So, in the beginning of the story, which is in my published book, so the protagonist, Eric, my protagonist, just now I mentioned, is the daughter of an archon. So, she's more like a lady, a very studious lady. Yeah, she was grown in a very privileged condition, and yeah, she's very well educated, privileged condition, and she command an army. Yeah, I know it's quite rare in the Greco-Roman world, but I kind of against all those um, fiction writing rules. That's why it's an alternate history. So it's a little bit different compared to those Greco-Romans uh, fiction retellings. It's not a retelling. It's not a retelling. So that's why first of all, I already have a female leader who is uh, who is the protagonist, and she's the leader of an army. And one day, the Roman Emperor Nero visit Syracuse, and he kind of like took over the place, killed her father, and and the protagonist have to Eric have to run away, escape from Nero's uh, soldiers. So she was told by her teacher to go back to Thebes, where her mother, her maternal family, were the one who ruled, who was on Thebes, I guess so. And so she sets her journey, and while on her way back to Thebes, uh, she kind of like discover. I mean, at Thebes, she kind of discover that why her father was killed, the real reason why her father got killed, and also what her father has been doing all the time that causes him to be killed by Nero. So after that, Eric kind of feel an urge to continue what her father had done, the work of her father. She want to continue the work of her father. That's why she set her journey to leave Thebes and go and find a figure, a woman figure who whom she believes is a goddess, a living goddess, which was known as the Theos. It's kind of hard for me to talk at the same time while drawing because I kind of have some divided focus right now. Yeah. I know some people might be okay to draw while talking, but not me. I kind of feel that some focus was not there. I need some focus. Sometimes I need to keep my mind empty in order to draw. I guess that depends on people. Like some of them prefer to listen to, some of them able to listen to music while drawing. I mean, while shading, yes. While doing shading, yes, I can talk because shading is not really demanding. I mean, but drawing line art is kind of demanding because I constantly need to evaluate the logic of this line, whether this line is logical or not, the dimension is right or not. So that's why it's very difficult for me to talk while doing line art. And my line work is kind of like very slow line work because I'm not the fast drawer. I'm not like a trained professional. I only draw while I'm free. That's why I'm not trained. I don't have a degree on art or design or whatever it is. My job isn't related to art. That's why. That's why when you please don't compare me with all the other professional full-time artists out there on YouTube. I definitely will not be as capable as them, but I'll still do my best. Because I enjoy the process of growing. It's very soothing. It's very therapeutic. Yeah, it's slow, but it's very therapeutic. Yeah. So sometimes once I know that, okay, once I lay the details here, my brain is kind of processed that, oh, all these others will be the same details. That's why I can keep it for the next round and focus on the other part that needs some design. Like all this part is still not there yet, so my brain still need to design the structure, the details, reimagine the details I know from here. So sometimes I might not have idea yet. That's why I abandon it for a while and then go to other empty places and think about what I want to add in. So I kind of have this idea that I want to add some columns because in my story I mentioned about columns. Yeah, this is too okay. Like in the middle, sometimes I found that oh, this is wrong. I mean, this is not supposed to be there. Oops. So I'll need to move a little. Okay. I'll have 3 columns. And then I'll have sometimes ideas just came in, then I feel like I want to change something, then I'll just change. So I'll have a kid raising to the top. I need to be careful. So this kid is climbing to the top while the other hand is trying to grab another person. Probably the other person passing another piece of bar to this younger boy. Yeah. I'll try to have more details on. Oops. Yeah, I'm trying. So the story about this scene I already mentioned yesterday. This is a scene inspired by the Japanese Buddhism story about the spider thread story, but it's different in a way that now people are working together to help each other to escape this dungeon. So yeah, I'm trying to draw. People are working together. There will be a lot of people. So probably some. Anyway, other than that, this one, oh no, never mind. Sometimes I just. I'll need a lot of people. People will kind of like lump it here. They kind of gather. And for this, I kind of have a detail that is like all those greco-roman architectural details, something like this. And then there'll be holes like this. Hmm. Yep. So there will be these are some of the details that I will add in later. Sometimes I need to sketch the details also so that um, it's easier when I lay down the line. And the scene would be something like this. Yeah, I think I'll crop those so that I won't have too many white space and bring our focus to, yeah, if I let too many space here, my focus won't go to here. Okay, move on. Initially, I plan to do those speed drawing video, like most of the YouTube artists will do. But because I don't want to spend money on video editing software, and my computer wasn't that powerful at all. So I decided not to do it. I'll just do a record, because if I spend so much time and money to do such video, it doesn't guarantee that it will give me any benefits or return. So when I ask myself, what is the purpose that I do this video? And my answer is just, well, just to have a record of me doing things. Yeah. And of course, I do wish to show it on public. That's why I do it on YouTube. It's not like something I do alone or something like that. No, I wish to share it on public. So that's why I'm just doing a simple vlog live recording. And this live, YouTube live, is quite useful because I don't need any additional video recording tool. Else, I really have no clue at all how to do video editing and all those. Yep. Okay, let's try to lay the draw. Lay the details here. I'll try to get the details here. Okay. By the way, um, I also did do some study on the architectural, the designs, the patterns of the ancient Greco-Roman buildings, not just from the book that I showed earlier, also from some photo takings. Yeah, it's always fun to look at all these ancient buildings, their beautiful designs. I mean, I can still be creative and design my own, but sometimes they give some new ideas from the existing design. We came up with a new idea on uh, how to make the building looks great. I show you. Who is calling me? Somebody was calling me. Let me see. I think somebody is calling me. So let's continue next round. Bye.